I had a friend of mine who was a middle school coach who I was bouncing at a bar with. And he said, you know what? I think you'd be pretty good coaching football. I could use a hand. And I said, you know what? I ain't got nothing else going on. Let me give it a shot. And I fell not only in love further again with football, but fell in love with just kind of realizing that there's a spot for me, and there's a spot for me to go ahead and hopefully make a positive impact on a young man or two. And I wound up shifting my degree study from business to education. And I wound up finishing up at Brooklyn College and briefly got into teaching. And that was something I found to be very rewarding. Ultimately, altogether separated, but I wound up coaching 9 years of high school football. I was a district strength and conditioning coach for 4 years, which was an awesome experience. And I realized that a lot of the kids that I was dealing with that people were writing off, like, that's a bad kid. Well, um, they always say, and it's Thaddeus Boulevard, who goes by Titus O'Neill. He actually has a book. There is no such thing as a bad kid. And that's true. There we go. Titus is my man. But yeah, there is no such thing as a bad kid. I realized these kids that they were saying were bad were just looking for attention. They just wanted somebody to be in their corner, because a lot of them had disjointed home lives, lived with grandmothers, lived with aunts, lived with folks that were not their parents. And if they did have the blessing to live with their folks were out trying to hustle 2, 3 jobs, just trying to make ends meet, and they just needed a positive influence in their life. And it's amazing if you give a kid a little bit of attention and in a positive way, how far that goes.